A billionaire tests his girlfriend with hidden cameras, only to uncover shocking secrets about her true love and intentions. When fortune fades, loyalty is tested. A billionaire discovers if his girlfriend loves him, or just the luxury life he provides. Behind closed doors, hidden cameras reveal the shocking truth. Was it real love, or a gold digger's secret plan all along? He gave her the world, but when his wealth vanished overnight, her reaction exposed a devastating secret caught on camera. Ethan Cole had always been known in the business world as the golden boy of real estate, a billionaire who built an empire from scratch before the age of 35. His towers lit up the skylines of major cities, glass and steel monuments to his ambition, and every magazine painted him as the symbol of success. Yet behind that fortune and those polished photographs, Ethan carried a private fear that money had poisoned his personal life. For years, he had wondered if anyone truly cared for him, the man, not the billionaire. He had been burned before. An ex-fiancée had been caught siphoning money from one of his shell accounts, funding secret vacations for herself and a lover overseas. Another relationship collapsed when Ethan realized the woman he trusted most was only attending charity events with him for the photographers and the status. Each betrayal hardened him. And yet, Ethan still believed in love, the kind his late mother had once told him was worth everything. That belief was why he decided to test his latest relationship in a way no one would expect. Her name was Vanessa. She was strikingly beautiful, long dark hair that flowed like silk, eyes that gleamed with ambition, and a smile that could disarm any room. Ethan had met her at a gala fundraiser downtown. Unlike others who seemed desperate for his attention, Vanessa spoke to him as if she wasn't impressed by the billions attached to his last name. That confidence drew him in, and within months, she became a permanent presence in his life. She moved into his penthouse overlooking the bay, her clothes hanging beside his in a walk-in closet that looked more like a boutique. At first, Ethan thought she might be different. She laughed at his jokes, cooked with him on lazy Sundays, and whispered about building a future together. But small things kept gnawing at him. Whenever he mentioned scaling back his lifestyle, selling a property, cutting back on private jet flights, her expression shifted for a fraction of a second. Whenever she thought he wasn't watching, she lingered over luxury catalogs, tapping her nails on images of diamond necklaces and exotic cars. Ethan's closest friend, Marcus, noticed it too. Marcus was more than a friend. He was the lawyer who had been at Ethan's side since college, when Ethan was only a dreamer with a startup plan. Marcus had seen too many lawsuits, too many betrayals, to trust easily. One night over bourbon in the private library of Ethan's mountain estate, Marcus leaned forward and said the words that changed everything. "You don't know if she loves you, Ethan. You only know if she loves what you can give her. The only way to know the truth is to take it all away." Ethan knew he couldn't just confront Vanessa. If she truly was with him for love, accusations would wound her, maybe even destroy what they had. But if Marcus was right, if she was playing a role, then Ethan needed proof before his heart and his fortune were compromised again. That was when the idea of the hidden camera test was born. Ethan didn't want scandal. He didn't want tabloid drama. He wanted answers, raw, unfiltered truth. So he called in a discreet private security team, the kind who had handled sensitive corporate investigations for him before. They outfitted his penthouse with miniature hidden cameras, each carefully disguised in everyday objects: a vase, a bookshelf sculpture, even the frame of a painting in the living room. Every angle was covered, from the kitchen island where they shared morning coffee to the private study where Ethan sometimes left financial documents on the desk. The cameras weren't for show. They streamed live to a secure server only Ethan and Marcus could access. The test would come in phases. First, Ethan would tell Vanessa he was facing legal trouble. an unexpected lawsuit threatening to freeze a significant portion of his assets. To make it believable, Marcus drafted fake legal papers, complete with official seals, to scatter across the penthouse. Then Ethan would begin living as though his billions were tied up, forcing them into a lifestyle stripped of luxury. No private jets, no Michelin-star dinners, no couture shopping trips. Just the essentials. A rented car instead of his supercars, modest restaurants instead of glittering rooftop lounges. If Vanessa stayed supportive, if she chose love over money, Ethan would know. But if she revealed disappointment, if her affection dwindled, the hidden cameras would record every shift in her tone and every glance at her phone as she searched for an escape. When Ethan finally staged the confrontation, it was in the dramatic style that suited his larger-than-life world. One evening, dressed in a simple shirt instead of his tailored suits, he told Vanessa in a low voice, "There's been a problem. The legal team says I might lose control of most of my holdings. It's going to be tough." He slid the fake documents across the table. Vanessa's perfectly manicured hand hovered over them, her expression unreadable for a moment. Then she smiled, reaching across to squeeze his hand. "We'll get through this," she whispered. But the hidden cameras later caught her that same night in the bedroom, staring at her reflection in the mirror, her smile gone, her shoulders tense, her phone glowing as she messaged someone with rapid taps of her nails. Days passed, and the changes in their lifestyle tested her more than words could. Ethan sold the story that his accounts were frozen, that they'd need to cut costs. He suggested moving into a smaller apartment temporarily. Vanessa's lips curved into a polite smile, but her eyes betrayed flickers of panic. She no longer lingered with him in the kitchen. She spent more evenings out, explaining it away as visiting friends. And when Ethan arranged a simple dinner at a neighborhood bistro instead of their usual fine dining, she arrived late, her expression irritated, scrolling through her phone the entire meal. The hidden camera by the bookshelf caught her muttering under her breath later that night, "This isn't the life I signed up for." Ethan watched the footage in silence, his chest heavy, Marcus beside him. Every second of video was another nail in the coffin of his hopes. But the most devastating moment came during a staged second phase of the test. Ethan told Vanessa he might have to liquidate personal cars and jewelry to cover legal fees. He handed her a modest gift box, not the diamonds she expected but a simple necklace made of silver, bought intentionally from a local artisan. Vanessa's face fell the second she lifted the lid. Her voice tried to mask it, but the disappointment was raw. "It's lovely," she said, forcing a smile. Later, when she thought she was alone, the camera hidden in the mirror frame recorded her tossing the necklace onto the dresser with a sigh, muttering, "He's finished. I need to think about my future." Marcus didn't need to say anything. The truth was there, undeniable. Ethan felt a strange calm wash over him. The pain was sharp, but so was the clarity. The test had revealed her secret. Vanessa's love had always been for the lifestyle, not for him. But Ethan wasn't finished. He wanted to see how far she would go once she believed the billionaire she loved was gone for good. To push the test to its final act, Ethan staged the biggest reveal yet. He told Vanessa he was officially bankrupt. He fabricated news clippings, bank notices, even a falsified email from his corporate board. He let her see him defeated, shoulders slumped, tie loosened, eyes heavy with supposed despair. Then he waited. That night, Vanessa comforted him, whispered reassurances, but the cameras caught her later in the study, dialing a call. Her words were like knives. "He's broke. Totally broke. I need to get out before this drags me down." Ethan's heart ached, but he felt stronger than ever. The woman he thought might be his future had revealed herself completely. Soon, the only question left was whether he would confront her with the footage or let her walk away thinking she had fooled him. He knew this wasn't just about one relationship. It was about proving to himself that he could still trust love in a world where money cast long shadows. As Ethan poured himself another bourbon that night, Marcus at his side, he whispered, "Now we know. Now we can end this." But ending it wasn't going to be quiet. Because Ethan wasn't only a billionaire, he was a man who understood value, and he was about to teach Vanessa the harshest lesson of all, that love built on gold was destined to shatter when the shine was gone. And so, the stage was set for the dramatic confrontation that would become the climax of the hidden camera test, a moment where fake love would be stripped bare, and true intentions revealed under the glare of recorded truth. Ethan barely slept the night after Vanessa's phone call. He lay awake in the quiet penthouse, staring at the city lights blinking beyond the glass walls, the weight of truth pressing against his chest. The cameras had given him more than evidence. They had stripped away illusions. The woman he once thought might be his partner for life had revealed herself as someone calculating, someone who measured love in dollars. But even as bitterness crept into his heart, Ethan knew he wasn't the type to simply walk away without closure. He wanted to look her in the eye, armed with the truth she never suspected he had, and see what happened when the mask finally fell. Marcus warned him to tread carefully. "She's already planning her exit," Marcus said as he poured coffee the next morning. "You can let her go quietly, or you can make this a turning point. But if you confront her, don't do it half-heartedly. Make it final." Ethan nodded, his jaw tight. "No more games," he replied. "It's time she sees herself on camera." The plan for the reveal was meticulous. Ethan arranged for Vanessa to come home early, setting the stage with the same documents and fake notices that had convinced her of his downfall. He dimmed the lights in the penthouse, leaving only a soft glow in the living room. The air was heavy with tension, like the pause before a storm. When Vanessa walked in, she seemed distracted, scrolling through her phone, her heels clicking across the marble floor. She barely glanced at Ethan slouched on the couch. "I'm exhausted," she muttered. "Rough day." Ethan gestured toward the wide TV mounted on the wall. "There's something I need you to see," he said quietly. Vanessa frowned, confused, then watched as Ethan picked up a remote and pressed play. The screen flickered to life, and her own face appeared, recorded just nights earlier in the study. Her voice echoed through the room. "He's broke. Totally broke. I need to get out before this drags me down." Vanessa froze. The color drained from her face, her phone slipping slightly in her hand. What is this?" she stammered. Ethan didn't answer immediately. He let the footage play on, clips of her sighing over the silver necklace, her muttered complaint about not signing up for this life, her whispered call plotting her escape. Each moment cut deeper, not because Ethan didn't already know, but because watching her see herself exposed was the raw justice he needed. When the video ended, silence filled the penthouse. Vanessa's eyes darted around the room, searching for answers. You spied on me?" she finally blurted, her voice rising with indignation. Ethan stood slowly, his calm more unnerving than anger. "I gave you my world," he said. "I needed to know if you loved me or the lifestyle. Now I know." Vanessa's expression flickered between fear and fury. "That's insane! Who does that? Everyone has moments of frustration. You can't judge me based on a few comments taken out of context." Her voice shook, but Ethan noticed how quickly her defensive tone replaced any attempt at genuine remorse. She wasn't sorry for her actions. She was sorry for being caught. Marcus, who had been waiting quietly in the adjoining study, stepped forward. "Vanessa, this isn't about frustration. It's about intent. You weren't standing by him when you thought he lost everything. You were already planning your exit strategy." His words hit like a gavel in a courtroom, final and undeniable. Tears welled in Vanessa's eyes, but even her vulnerability seemed rehearsed. "I loved you," she whispered, clutching at Ethan's arm. "You don't understand. This is just overwhelming. I panicked. But I love you. We can fix this." Ethan looked down at her, his face unreadable. For a fleeting moment, he remembered the dinners they shared, the laughter, the nights she curled against him. But those memories were tainted now, the sweetness soured by the truth behind them. "No," Ethan said firmly, his voice steady. "Love doesn't break at the first sign of struggle. Love doesn't measure worth in cars or jewelry. You didn't panic. You revealed yourself. And now we're done." Vanessa's tears hardened into anger. She pulled back, her tone venomous. "You'll regret this. You think you're untouchable because of your money, but you're paranoid. You'll never trust anyone. You'll die alone." She snatched her handbag and stormed toward the door, slamming it behind her with a final echo that seemed to shake the walls. For a long while, Ethan stood in silence, the footage still frozen on the TV screen behind him. Marcus placed a hand on his shoulder. "You did what you had to do," he said quietly. "Now you can move forward." Ethan exhaled deeply, as though releasing years of pent-up fear. The hidden camera test had cost him another relationship, but it had also freed him. He finally understood that protecting his heart was not weakness, it was wisdom. In the weeks that followed, Ethan focused on rebuilding, not his wealth, for that was never truly gone, but his faith in people. He traveled alone for a while, visiting small towns where no one knew his name, eating in diners instead of rooftop lounges, talking to strangers who cared nothing for billionaires or headlines. He found peace in simplicity, the kind his mother once cherished, and slowly the bitterness began to fade. But the story didn't end there. Months later, Vanessa resurfaced. Tabloids splashed photos of her on the arm of another wealthy investor, smiling as though nothing had happened. For Ethan, it was confirmation that he had escaped a trap before it consumed him. He no longer felt anger when he saw her face, only gratitude for the cameras that revealed the truth. Ethan's life took a different path after that. He became more selective with who he let into his circle, valuing authenticity over glamour. When he did eventually meet someone new, it wasn't at a gala or a high-profile event, but at a small community fundraiser where he had chosen to volunteer. She was kind, intelligent, and completely unaware of his net worth until long after they had built a genuine connection. For the first time in years, Ethan felt the possibility of real love, one not bound by money but by trust. Looking back, he realized the hidden camera test wasn't just about Vanessa. It was about him reclaiming control over his life, refusing to be a victim of manipulation again. It was about proving that even in a world where gold diggers lurked in the shadows of wealth, real love could still exist if one was patient enough to find it. As Ethan stood once again in his penthouse months later, gazing at the skyline, he smiled faintly. The city lights no longer seemed like a stage for his image. They felt like markers of a journey he had survived. He whispered to himself, "Better to lose fake love than to miss out on real love." And with that, Ethan Cole closed the chapter on Vanessa, his billionaire's hidden camera test finally complete. If you found this story powerful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of truth, betrayal, and redemption. Your support helps us bring you more gripping tales every day.